Hello, my fellow critters and creatures. How did you spend Valentine's Day this year? No matter where you are in your journey to find love, birds can help out. From finding, attracting, courting, all the way to maintaining a relationship, birds have some of the best advice in the animal kingdom. Don't believe me? Let's check it out. Before we get into Flirting 101, let's talk about how bird relationships work. Across the many species of birds, there are many different types of relationships. From monogamous to polyamorous to hookups, birds span the entire variety. There are many birds that mate for life, like the black vulture and the mute swan. They'll stick together all year long and only mate with each other. There are also birds that do remating, where every mating season they find each other, mate, raise the kids, then separate for the rest of the year until mating season comes back again. This includes birds like puffins and albatross. There are also a lot of bird species that find a new mate every year. If you're doubting that birds actually care about cheating or have any opinions on monogamy, then take a look at the sparrow. A study on sparrows in the UK found that if one of the individuals finds out that the other one is cheating, they'll do a lot less work around the nest, like not bring as much food or help build the nest or even help raise the young. While studies around love languages are pretty inconclusive about whether or not they exist, I'm still going to use them as a framework to talk about how birds flirt. One thing that a lot of birds have in common is that they make bird calls. These bird calls are used for a variety of things, like warning about predators or telling other birds where to find food, but one of the most common uses for these calls is in finding mates. I'm going to say that this is part of the words of affirmation section of love languages. A lot of birds make beautiful calls. It is one of the ways that bird watchers can know where to find birds in the area. And sometimes these words of affirmation, bird calls, are accompanied by a dance, like with many varieties of birds of paradise, including this species. This is the western Parodia, also known as the six-plumed bird of paradise. You can see it doing its little dancey dance around the floor of the rainforest. It puffs out all of its feathers and shows off its iridescent neck to attract any mates, all while making a beautiful call. Next, we're going to talk about acts of service. What things do birds need to get done? What chores do they have? Well, gathering food is one, and building a nest is the other. And these are two species that really exemplify the act of doing this as a form of flirting. First, we're going to talk about this little guy. This is a shrike, also known as the butcher bird. While it might seem tiny and adorable and way too cute for that nickname, it gets it because of its very gruesome style of hunting. It will take its prey and jam it on various thorns and barbed wire fencing and tear it apart while it's still alive. When it's around mating season, the males will take a lot of prey and stick them all over bushes as a sort of macabre bouquet for their mate. Next is the bowerbird. And the male bowerbird makes these beautiful nests for their mates to help them start the process of making a home together, for them to raise their chicks in. Both of these acts of service are very useful. They help jumpstart the early stages of starting their family. Next, we're going to talk about gift giving. You see all these little penguins waddling around? Well, when penguins are trying to find a mate, they give their crushes pebbles to signify their love. Pebbles are used in the construction of their nests, so it's also a very useful gift. Thoughtful and useful. Two things any gift is supposed to be. The second to last category is physical touch. A lot of birds participate in the practice of allopreening, which basically means preening each other. You've probably seen videos of monkeys scrounging through each other's fur to find bugs, and this is a form of that. When birds are molting their feathers, their new feathers have a coating that they need to remove so that the feathers can actually puff out and act like feathers. So parrots will take turns helping get these pin feathers, those feather coverings, off each other. Also, many species will sleep right next to each other, which I find adorable. Finally, we'll talk about quality time. Some bird species hunt together, including birds like ravens and albatrosses. They'll go out and spend this quality time together, working together to catch their prey and bring home food for their children. Now, in conclusion, if you want some inspiration for how to spice up your romance, look to the animal kingdom. But one thing you should never do is look to ducks for advice. You'll thank me if you ever decide to look up that research rabbit hole. Thanks for attending class. Bye!